We're here at EMC 24 at the Gaylord Resort and Convention Center in National Harbor, Maryland, right outside Washington, D.C. And my guest today is Ashley Britt. Ashley is the Vice President of Finance and Risk at Octopus Energy. And it's just a pleasure to have you with us today on the podcast, on the EMC Energy, the Energy Insider podcast.
Thank you very much. The pleasure is all mine.
So Ashley, just tell us a little bit about your background and your background in the industry. You worked for one or two energy companies that you just bumped into today at the conference. So tell us about that.
Sure. So I started in the rep world about 10 years ago. Came in through sort of an operational accounting role, doing sort of above the line gross margin, back office settlements, things like that. To be honest, I knew nothing about power markets when I took that job. I kind of thought it was like, oh, an energy company, and I've been exposed to oil and gas my whole life. Must be something like that. And very quickly learned that electricity markets are very different. And so I was very lucky that many people at that company were very patient with me and took the time to educate me, about the full stack of power markets, from enrollment all the way to settlement. And so I really enjoyed my time there, and that's where I really got the bug, I suppose, for retail supply industry. And then I went to a different rep. I was a controller there for a little while, and great leadership team overall. Really,
What was the name of that one?
That was APG&E. So I started at Spark Energy, and then I went to APG&E. And then during COVID, I went back to business school. I went to Rice University and got my MBA.
Oh, wow.
And came out of there thinking, like, maybe, should I go work on the generation side, the renewable side? Like, what do I want to do next? And that's when sort of the Octopus Energy opportunity came up. And, they're a tech company / retail supplier / generation. And so it seemed like the perfect opportunity. So I was hired on as the financial controller there. Sort of coming in, looking at accounting, thinking, it's the same job I already have, is perfect. And quickly realized that Octopus is run very much like a startup, and everybody wears a lot of hats. And so then have kind of since taken on more of the supply and risk and data science functions.
Wow. So you worked for Misty Day.
I did,
in
yes.
Spark.
She was
you
my
worked for
first
Jay
boss.
Harpole in APG&E.
That's right.
What was your experience working in those companies? Was it enjoy? I mean, with any of those people your mentors in those places?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Misty in particular has been a mentor to me ever since I've been at Spark.
Wow.
We still chat all the time. We still keep in touch quite a bit. Jay, I always see at these EMC and other events, and so that's really great bumping into them as well. But yeah, I mean, even other than just Misty, I remember at Spark, again, went in kind of blind to the energy markets, but I remember the head of supply there would sit down with me and really walk me through and make me understand from start to finish how the megawatt becomes a dollar. And so that mentorship has really set me up to be successful today.
Let's talk about, just for a second, about your decision to go back to school during COVID to get an MBA. What prompted that? Did something that you always wanted to do your whole life, or you just decided last minute, or how'd that work? And was that online, I am assuming?
Yes, mostly because at the time it was during COVID, so we did do a lot of online work. I had a 2-year-old son at home, and I felt like I had time. I wanted to do something very useful with that, and so Rice is obviously a great school, and so when I learned about the program, I wanted to go back. And
how long did it take?
It took 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, 2 years. So, and I think I went to LSU for my undergrad, which was very great. But like, you learn about management and like general management and all of these sort of leadership when you're 20, and then 10 years later you become a leader. So it just didn't really set in. And so going back to school was really beneficial to, like, now I have context for how to use
So your MBA is in what official?
Corporate finance.
Corporate finance.
Yeah.
Are there any energy courses in these schools nowadays?
Yes. And Rice in particular has a pretty good energy program. So, I did do some like commodity trading classes, which I hadn't done in my undergrad because I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Cool.
They have a lot of energy forward stuff at Rice.
What would you say are the obstacles that you had to face to get to where you are today in the industry, as a leader in the industry, really? What are some of the things you had to overcome?
Well, I mean, every job that I've taken on has been a learning curve. So I think just expanding your knowledge into a new market, it's quite nuanced, can be challenging pretty much at every path. I think for me personally, I think every time, I'm a very ambitious person. I like to take on more, but then I can immediately get that sort of imposter syndrome of, like, oh, but do I belong in this position? And so overcoming that, I see that as actually like a strength and not a weakness, because somebody thought that you were good to be in that position. And so you just have to take that
Failure is
at
not
face
an option.
value. That's right. Yeah. I just fake it till you make it.
Amazing. How do you juggle your family life with your mom and your business? I mean, having a 6-year-old son is not an easy thing. I've gone through it 5 times myself.
Oh, wow, really?
And so what is it like juggling all those priorities? I mean, you really have a full-time, you're not a consultant, you're a full-time VP of Octopus, one of the biggest energy companies in the world, and you're running probably the most important people in the world, on the other side of your life. How do you do it?
So, I don't find it to be that challenging anymore. I think I used to, for sure, but as he gets older, it gets easier. But also our company is just very flexible. So he comes into the office with me. He wants to work in power market. He told me the other day he wants to sell electricity. That's what he wants to do.
That's funny.
I don't think he knows what that means, but that's what he said. And so,
does he have a resume yet?
Not yet, but I'm trying to get him, set up maybe on customer support or something.
What's his name?
Cooper.
Okay, great name. Okay.
So I think integrating the two and helps quite a bit. And so the flexible environment definitely.
Any other kids or just Cooper?
No, just one and done.
Okay, cool. Let's just talk about some of the things you're responsible for is building teams and hiring people. It is a very, very difficult thing in this industry to find qualified people with experience, integrity, work ethic. It's becoming more and more difficult every day. Not only that, I find that it's very difficult for people to even know anything of what is energy? What are you talking about? It's not something they even think about ever. So how do you do it? How do you build your team? How do you overcome those tremendous challenges of finding good people and keeping them?
So I would say I have a little bit of an advantage here, because the mom and dad in the UK, as I call them, have done a great job at building the Octopus brand, building the excitement of the company, the global successes. And so the funnel for talent, I think, is a bit wider than it is in other parts of the industry. And that's not thanks to me, that's thanks to them setting us up for success. So it's not hard to find people who are very excited about coming to work for Octopus, given the mission, driven culture. But, once they are hired, you have to, well, first of all, when you're interviewing, you have to look at somebody that's very ambitious, because they're are going to help guide the strategy of the organization, regardless of what role we're hiring them into. We're just at that sort of nascent stage where we could do many things in many different markets, and we need everybody to be part of that conversation. So getting people in and then them adjusting to okay, I'm not going to do this just one sliver of work. I have got to really expand. That is more of a challenge. And for me, I just think back to sort of those mentors that I had early in my career, and just loop them in, let them understand start to finish, from enrollment to settlement, exactly what the business is trying to do. And then, that kind of sets them up.
But where are you finding the people?
Oh, we do mostly direct recruitment. So, people that will apply on LinkedIn. We have a couple of people on my team are in the Rice MBA program.
Oh, wow.
Wow. So we have.
Any other apps beside LinkedIn? I mean, do you work with some of those famous apps?
No, not really. We don't. Okay. We have an internal recruiter who does a really fantastic job.
There you go. That's right.
So, and we have kind of a global talent team that will assist.
Sure. All right. So in terms of finding the people you're able to find, and you mentioned something about Octopus is just an exciting place to work, and people. How do you get an energy company who deals with kilowatt hours and maybe therms and the word exciting, there's those two things sound like an oxymoron.
Yeah, that's a very fair observation. I don't know if you've ever been to an Octopus Energy office, but it's not your typical retail energy office. It's
what's it like?
Pink and purple. Talk about bringing kids into the office. It's a perfect playground. So the culture globally is a very exciting just culture of the office.
Colors, pink and purple?
Yes,
so that makes it exciting?
Yeah,
Come on.
well, no, that's not what makes it exciting, but I would say that's a good representation for the cultural feel of Octopus. And I think too, I mean, people have seen the successes that Octopus has shown globally. In just 9 years, they've gone from sort of 0 to 10 million customers, largest supplier in the UK. So it's easy to see where the success can lead. But you know, we do have to convince them that the US is primed for the same.
How many customers do you have in the States, roughly?
We're still pretty small, so we're still in like the tens of thousands of customers. We've focused primarily on sort of demand side flexibility products, and then kind of looking at going into other markets and how that's.
So tell us what's going on at Octopus, new products, new bundles, new services, new M&A opportunities. What are you seeing there?
Yeah, so I'm always looking at M&A opportunities. I mean, any book that comes along, I always want to vet it and see if it fits right in. But I definitely think we have a prioritization for flexible resource load. This year we've taken on a sort of a front of the meter battery that we're using to offset, you know, our volatility in those super peak hours. And this year hasn't been particularly volatile, but having that asset has really helped, you know, manipulate our risk management policy. Beyond that, I think Octopus's big bet is that flexibility, demand side flexibility, is what's going to.
So, talking about DEG, distributed energy generation.
Yeah, exactly. On site.
Battery.
Yeah.
Are you in the solar business too?
I mean, we serve solar customers, yes, but we're not a residential solar.
What about like companies like Generac? Do you interface with them? Or do you?
Not particularly.
Compete with them?
So we primarily focus on solar and storage.
Got it.
We're looking, and then sort of smart thermostats. We have tons of.
What are some of the new acquisitions you've made?
So in the U.S., we haven't recently made any new acquisitions, so to speak. I think the Kraken side of our business has expanded massively.
Tell us about Kraken.
In the U.S. Yeah, so Kraken is our proprietary billing software and flexibility platform that sort of takes all of the, you know, day-to-day issues out of the not being a problem for the operations analyst. So we have customer service and operations all integrated into one team at Octopus, and Kraken is what allows us to have, you know, a lean team that can execute pretty much anything on behalf of the customer. And then Kraken Flex is our larger part of one of the large parts of Kraken that can send signals to reactable load and control usage. You know, turn down your smart thermostat a little bit when, you know, prices are super high, and then we reward the customer for that participation.
Is Kraken available for other suppliers, or it's proprietary?
No, it is. Well, it was created by Octopus Energy, but it is, yes, they license it to other suppliers. So they just licensed it to National Grid utility system up in New England. So that's a large client of theirs.
Utilities, you're licensing to utilities. What about competitive energy suppliers as well?
Those as well, yes. So Champion Energy in Texas is one of their customers.
You're able to say Champion uses it, like
yes,
as part of that?
Uh-huh. Yeah, they're in the process.
Does it help with a supplier that has, let's say, a customer? Let's say, for example, customers like Burger King, for example. They, you know, one franchisee of Burger King could have 100 Burger Kings. You guys interface with those smart meters and give them signals of when to lower it, and do you also interface with demand response in Kraken as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that is what Kraken Flex is designed to do, is to send controls to controllable load on site for residential or commercial customers.
Wow, that's very interesting. I didn't know we were going to talk about this at the podcast, but I have a lot of potential conversations we got to have after this.
Definitely,
Maybe some, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
How long did it take to develop that Kraken?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Is it AI oriented?
It has a lot of AI integrated into it through the customer contact.
Is it continuously being developed?
Absolutely, yeah, definitely.
So as it changes in AI, as you go to the version 3, version 4, version 5, and Is it ChatGPT oriented, or is it Grok, or is it
It's not.
what is it based on? Does it matter?
To be honest with you, I'm definitely not technical enough to answer that question, but it's AI enabled for sure. And like you said, it's constantly evolving. So right now, Kraken has become such a large company that currently we're in the process of spinning off Kraken to become its own company.
Business.
Yeah, and so.
That's great.
So yeah, so it should.
Do you know anything about the Women's Energy Alliance that we started, and the mentorship program? Are you involved in it in any way?
I haven't been involved in the mentorship program yet, but last night a couple of ladies were telling me about it, and I definitely would like to.
We want to recruit you as a mentor.
Wonderful!
Sure.
I would love that. I'm very passionate about mentorship, especially amongst the female community in this industry. Great. So,
did you attend the WEA networking hour last night?
I did. It was wonderful. Yes.
Is that the first one you've been to?
No, I've been to a couple in Houston as well.
Oh, that's great. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Fantastic. What could you tell us about EMC? Are you enjoying it so far? But this is not your first.
It's not
EMC.
My first, but the reason I like it is because I go to a lot of trading conferences or ERCOT conferences, things like that, and that's all very interesting to work with that side. But the thing I like about EMC is that it is the full retail stack. You know what I mean? You really have people in all different departments coming together to talk about the industry.
We got the generators, we got the wholesalers, we have the retailers, and we have the brokers.
Yeah, exactly.
All in one place. The only people we're missing really the users. We've had a few in the past. We don't have that many. We are starting now to invite not only that group, but also the utilities, and like we had today, Jim Steffi's, and we also have PJM coming in Houston. We have ERCOT, and so hopefully that's great. Adds to the whole picture, to fill the whole 360-degree circle of that. But I really want to thank you for taking the time today. I kept you from lunch. I'm very sorry.
Oh, that's quite all right.
I really want to thank you for taking the time. Also to come to EMC and to, are you speaking?
I'm on a panel this afternoon, yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Which panel is it?
From ratepayer to active, I can't remember the exact name, but it's demand response oriented.
Perfect. Fantastic. Thank you so much,
Thank
Ashley.
you, Jack. I appreciate it.